Digboy is a town in the Tinsukia district of Assam. Known as the oil city for being the birthplace of India's oil industry. The name Digboy is said to have originated from the phrase dig boy dig, which was reportedly used by British engineers looking for oil. Commissioned in 1901, the refinery is one of the oldest operating refineries in the world and known as the Gangotri of the Indian hydrocarbon sector. Digboy has its share of tourist attractions as well, with the Dibru Saikhoa Wildlife Sanctuary. Which is known for its rich biodiversity, home to a variety of animals including the Royal Bengal tiger. The Digboy War Cemetery commemorates soldiers who lost their lives during World War II. Golf is also an integral part of history, with the Digboy Golf Course being one of the oldest golf courses in India. Founded in 1888, the Digboy Golf Course is spread in an area of 6,309 yards and is considered one of the best golf courses in the territory. The location of the golf course is ideal as the Dehing Forest Reserve is found on 3 sides of the golf course. On the 4th side, an amazing view of the mountain ranges situated in Arunachal Pradesh can be enjoyed. Digboy is all set to host the landmark 25th edition of the Indian Oil Servo Masters Golf Tournament. The prize purse for the event has been increased from last year's 85 lakhs to an all-time high of 1 crore this year. The Indian Oil Servo Masters has a special place in the history of Indian professional golf, as it is one of the longest running tournaments on the Indian domestic circuit and on the PGTI. The tournament is well established as Northeast India's premier professional golf event in terms of the prize money on offer, the strong field it attracts every year, the top-class playing conditions and the high level of competition on display. Veer Ehlawat, a former winner in Digboy, ended round 2 in tied 3rd place at 6 under 138. Viraj Madappa, Yuvraj Singh and Shivendra Singh Sisodia also shared 3rd place with Veer. Saptak Talwar, playing in Digboy for the first time, fired a second straight 68 to move his total to 8 under 136 and jump 5 places to 2nd position. PGTI ranking leader Yuvraj Sandhu maintained his 2-stroke lead following his 2nd round of 3 under 69 at the 1 crore Indian Oil Servo Masters 2025. Yuvraj, a 2-time winner in Digboy, totaled 10 under 134 at the halfway stage.
Very good morning and a warm welcome to all our viewers, wherever you may be. This is day three of the Indian Oil Servo Masters, the longest running tournament on the calendar of the Professional Golf Tour of India, and we are catching up with the action on morning of day three. You've had a very fleeting look at some of this of the way the course is set up, the way it lies in the magnificent far northeastern corner of our country in Assam. It's used to Digboy was well known for its as an oil field and an oil refinery, and over the years it has become, like I mentioned, the PGTI's longest running single tournament. Prize money this year, a whopping 1 crore of rupees, up from 85 lakhs last year, and we will shortly bring to you live catch up with our leader Yuvraj Sandhu is setting the pace on this course. Seems to have no terrors for him. He was came into day three with a two-shot lead over Veer Alawat and Saptak Talwar, but he has very quickly stretched it out. And in his first 7 holes, he has drained as many as 5 birdies. Currently on 15 under par, Saptak Talwar is now 6 shots behind on 9 under par. Veer Alawat, past PGT Order of Merit winner, is on 8 under par. That's our top three as we catch up with the live action from Digboy. Not the longest of courses, but it has its little quirks and areas that can test the players. But Yuvraj Sandhu showing no signs of that he is intimidated by this course in any way. In fact, in his early years, played a lot of his golf in the Northeast. His father was in the army. He has won on this course twice before. And the best winning score of 23 under stands in his name 4 years ago. And as it looks, Ashwin, I'm joined with my fellow commentator Ashwin Krishnan. Ashwin, the way it looks like that number is under serious threat. A 23 under par, which he won in I think 1921.
Hello, sir. Welcome, everyone. And yes, for sure, it looks on the thread. And Yuvraj Sandhu, as you mentioned, knows how to win. He knows how to win on this course. His very first professional tour win came at Digboy. So he also has fond memory. This is not something that he's going to let slip very easily. As you mentioned, he's got a six-stroke lead thanks to a string of four straight birdies from the fourth to the seventh, which was, of course, preceded by birdie on the second. Five birdies for the day in eight completed holes. He's clearly making a charge, and the pressure is on Saptak Talwar, and those following him, including Veer Alawat, who's at 8 under, Joshua Seal at 7 under, and a host of other golfers.
A little more, few more shots of this magnificent landscape that surrounds this golf course. It's the forests of the Dehing Reserve, immediately abut the Digboy Golf Links, and on the far side of the Brahmaputra River, you had a very fleeting glimpse of the eastern Himalayas. Still waiting to catch up with the action. And a quick word on our tour's partners and sponsors: Victoria's Choice, IndusInd Bank, Amrit Ranjan Electro Plus, Amul, Campa, and Rolex.
Outstanding golf courses, it grows on you. I've been fortunate enough to run 7 golf tournaments here right from the initial year 2000 to 2003. And some of my fondest memories, of course, are associated with this. एक ही माइक है इसका So we have Yuvraj Sandhu in the lead. As we had mentioned, 15 under. Things are interestingly poised. Everyone else has to play a catch-up game. But Yuvraj Sandhu's intentions are really clear. He's attacking the course. It'll be interesting to see how he performs on the 10th, the par 3, which has so far witnessed over 20 dropped shots and 5 double bogeys. Will Yuvraj attack the pin or will he play it safe? Will be interesting. What is your take on this?
Going by his form and what he has shown, particularly this year with 4 wins twice back to back, and in fact, last two events that he's played in runner up at both events. So I don't think he knows any other way to play. He knows this course well. He's won here in the past. He's got the best winning score at this very venue. So I don't think he's going to hold back. And certainly, as we still wait for the action to pick up, lots to talk about. Also joining us a little later during the broadcast will be Shaurya Singh, fine player in his time. Now divides his time between being a tech tycoon and golf commentator and expert. And as you can see, a beautiful day in Assam. This is probably the furthest east you can get to play golf on a regular course. Maybe there are a couple of smaller 9-hole courses in the tea gardens in this area, but of regular full-sized courses, this is probably the furthest east you can go to play golf on an 18-hole track.
I would love to ask Shaurya what challenges the 10th hole poses. I'm sure he's played here, so it'll be interesting to get his point of view as to why there is not a single birdie on this hole so far.
First off, a very warm welcome to all our viewers. What a day here. Silver Jubilee of this tournament, this fantastic tournament that has had so many winners, and you'll see a lot of repetition as you have a look at the tee once again, the indomitable hole number 10. Just get back to your question in bit, Ashwin, first. Let's have a look at this shot. There's Anshul Kabatiyal here. Long hitting, long driving. Effortless power for young Anshul. And he would land up short. So this hole plays to almost about 230 from the back, and it's a very small green. And steep slope from front to back poses quite the challenge, and very difficult to make up and down when you miss the green. So probably one of the more difficult par 3s here. But apart from this, there are quite a few other holes on the back nine where a player can make birdie.
Thank you, Shaurya. It's always great to get a professional's perspective, having been there and done that. It's also interesting to see every golfer has a totally different setup from the other. Although there is one rule to play golf when you go to learn a golf lesson, it's interesting to see how people adapt.
Aryaman Aditya Mohan teeing off in front of you there, anxiously hoping that it's not gone too far astray, but seems to have tugged it to the left a little bit. And up next, Shankar Das. This is the last but one group. Immediately behind them are the leaders. The lead group today being Veer Alawat, I beg your pardon, Yuvraj Singh, Saptak Talwar, and Yuvraj Sandhu. Past winner here on this course, Shankar Das from Calcutta. Vastly experienced player. He knows how to hold his own under most circumstances, but bailing out quickly on that one. For some reason, didn't look too happy. This hole has tested the entire field, and as Ashwin mentioned to you a little while ago, that has taken a fairly heavy toll on particularly those who started from the back nine. We've seen a string of drop shots and even a couple of double bogeys. But and it'll be interesting to see how those who teed off on number one, including the lead group and our event leader Yuvraj Sandhu, currently on 15 under par, deal with this. Let's call it a little monster, Ashwin, because it's been biting away at the field and has extracted a fairly heavy toll so far.
For sure. And look at that beautiful course. Just take a look at it. It's got crabgrass, and it's not always easy to get out of the rough because the ball holds in the rough. You can't really get it free like you can in some other golf courses. So we have Joshua Seal. Sorry, we have Anshul Kaptial, Shankar Das, and Aryaman Aditya Mohan next up on the tee.
Set it as it is near the hills, I can see the fair amount of undulation also that the players are walking, having to cope with. In fact, our event leader Yuvraj Sandhu mentioned in his post-round press conference yesterday that it's a fairly tiring slog, though it's not a very long course, about 6,400 yards in all. But the way it's laid out and the undulations and the fair number of gullies and brooks that you have to cross as you navigate these 18 holes has proven to be as much of a physical test as it has been of temperament and endurance. And like Ashwin just mentioned, the thick crabgrass can grab your ball, and Aryaman Aditya Mohan sending his tee shot a little further to the left than he would have liked. Shankar Das seems to have flared his tee shot way out to the right, and you could see he pulled out of that shot very quickly, suggesting that the contact was not a very good one, maybe even just shanking the ball somewhat. The other two are far closer and probably better placed, certainly better placed to at least walk away with a par, if not better. Shankar Das well to the right of the fairway, right in the thick of the grass. It's going to be a test of his skill and experience to make sure that he limits the damage. As you can see, a beautiful little chip shot from there, extremely controlled, good distance. Maybe would have liked a slightly better line, but the way the green seems sloping from left to right, he probably played safe. It's a better option than aiming for the flag and then going off the green completely. Pin positions today, other than one or two, are fairly tucked away, left and right. And Aditya Mohan on your screen, slightly difficult having to cater for a stance where he's well above the ball and the ball lost inside the thick grass. Not going to be the easiest of shots. And we'll soon see how he copes with it. He's certainly right. Good thing he's doing is taking his time, looking for a good landing spot. His wedge absolutely open to the skies. He doesn't want to top or blade this ball at all. Soft hands, hitting good elevation, and this is exactly what he was trying to avoid but couldn't, because from where he was, it was very, very difficult to keep control on the ball, put any sort of spin on it, Ashwin, and we saw the result. And it's going to be a hard, tricky putt. And this is probably, I think we've just in the space of this 10, 15, 20 seconds seen just why we have the point that you were making, that people are not, it's taking a fairly severe toll on scores.
Also, Aditya's stance was a little compromised. If you noticed, in that he was with his toes down. He was standing on a slope. That would also have affected his chip shot to an extent, though he has a long putt to negotiate, as you'd mentioned. That's Anshul there. He would have preferred to get that ball a little closer to the pin. His chip shot was semi-duffed, if there's a word, such as that. So other than Shankar Das, Shankar too has a reasonably tight putt to negotiate, but the other two gentlemen have even tougher putts to negotiate. Will they be able to sink it, or will the greens take a toll on them? The greens are playing true. It's a beautiful golf course, and it'll be interesting to see how the field negotiates it. And the pin positions that Rahul sir just mentioned are tucked away today. Sampath Chari, old hand of the game, has been to this course maybe for each one of those 25 tournaments that have been staged here. Sampath knows what to do in the final two rounds and what will test the best in the business. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Certainly, this is going to be a real tester for this young man. Chipping from a very awkward stance and an awkward lie. Did his best, played it as softly as he could, but still floated it. And the ball rolling away, running away from him and away from the pin. And a bright, clear day, not much of breeze by the looks of it. And I think they're trying to keep the pace of play up and waiting, have stepped aside for the following group to tee off as well. Time certainly a factor. It's this far away in the east of the country, in the northeast, far northeast of India, because sunrise and sunset are very, very different from the rest of the larger Indian landmass, so to say. And up next on your screens are the group of Veer Alawat, Shivendra Singh Sisodia, and Viraj Madhapa. It will get dark very quickly, Ashwin, because you've been there. You're one of the, so to say, the founding fathers of this tournament. Now, so you must be very proud of the fact that it has actually gone as far as its 25th year without a break. And on your screens, Viraj Madhapa lining up, and let's see how he tackles this very challenging par 3, 236, playing to 236 yards for this event. The 10th hole at the Digboy Golf Links in Assam. A slightly sawed-off tee shot, and it's pretty much got the desired result. He's just on the edge of the green. That's probably of the few that we've seen that's the best tee shot so far. Shivendra Singh Sisodia is up next. He's had a mixed season. Has done well in patches, and certainly would like to go better as we head into the last 4 or 5 events of the 2025 PGTI season. Controlled looking tee shot there, but just like we saw with RM on Aditya Mohan, he seems to have tugged it a little further to the left than he would have liked. And up next is 2024 PGTI Order of Merit winner Veer Alawat. Spent all of this year in Europe playing on the DP World Tour, the European Tour, as a result of his topping the PGTI Order of Merit. And will certainly have come back much enriched from that experience of playing all sorts of courses around Europe, Africa, and even parts of Asia. Veer Alawat on the 10th tee. Fluid swing there. A long and high ball, but he also has just gone a little further to the left than his ideal. So, but of the three we've just seen, Viraj, with a slightly sawed-off finish, I think had the best result. He kept the ball straight, and he's literally on the edge of the green.
One thing we noticed is that the golfers are veering left on the 10th. It'll be interesting to see with Shaurya joining me here as to why that happens, why they prefer to go left on the 10th. Welcome, Shaurya.
Hi, thanks Ashwin, and a warm welcome to all our viewers. This is turning out to be quite the week. We got the hard hitters at the front. Yuvraj, of course, somebody who's unmissable. Anshul Kapatyal, youngster, 5 under par, having a good week himself. Yuvraj, of course, blazing a trail, 15 under par, and we still have 26 more holes to play for him. So, seems like it's lights out here at beautiful Digboy. This putt should break a little bit from his left. Green's a little genial this week, rolling at a comfortable speed for the players, and that allows them to really attack each hole. So it is a birdie fest of sorts. And what we've seen, this golf course has a proclivity for favoring players. See a lot of repeat winners here on this golf course. Shankar Das being one of them, having won here on multiple occasions. Mukesh Kumar, of course, has made it one of his favorite playgrounds here. Yuvraj as well. So when you win here, you win in droves. As we have a look at Shankar Das getting back some of that Swilken touch. The years have worn on, but the fondness for the course hasn't. This putt will break from his left.
And it misses the cup to the right. This can get a little frustrating. The pin positions are fair and the greens are playing true, but one has to. These putts can actually cost you in the long run, these missed putts. And there it goes. Another putt drained.
Hole number 10, probably one of the most difficult holes on this golf course. A quirky golf course, really nice setup that you have. It's the crab grass, also colloquially called the elephant grass. Makes it a little bit more difficult for the players to chip from in and around the greens. The club tends to get stuck. The blades of grass are a lot thicker as opposed to conventional grass. And that's what makes it a little difficult for the players. As we have a look at Shivinder Singh Sisodia, the player from Gurugram, also a strapping young lad, hits the ball a country mile. And that probably not his best effort, just about missing it on the left. So that's one of the degrees of difficulty that I was talking about. So if you miss it on the wrong side, it's not the easiest to get the ball up and down. And while we have a look at these players, let's also have a look at some of the players who unfortunately were not able to survive the cut. And the most notable name, of course, is Rashid Khan. The prodigious winner on the Professional Golf Tour of India, former number one. Unfortunately, not being able to make the cut this time, missing it by a solitary shot. So we'll have to go back to the drawing board, so as to speak. We have a look at Veer, who, along with a lot of distance, also has some deft touch, and that was an absolute beauty by him from just off the green. Really well done there, giving himself an opportunity to make par. He also had Akshay Sharma missing the cut. So some top names. Himmat Singh Rai, former Asian Tour winner, and multiple victories on the Professional Golf Tour of India. Now sort of getting on and off and back to the game. Lives out of UK and splits his time between India and there. Plays some golf on the local tours there in Europe. So let's look for him to have a good showing the next week. We also had Federico Zucchetti missing the cut. MD Soleiman also missing the cut. As you have a look at Viraj Marappa, the front right, one of the few players that we've seen on the putting surface.
Another man who missed the cut was Firoz Ali Molla, the 1998 Indian Open winner. Of course, Firoz's game is not the same as it was back then, but it's a big name for sure. Firoz comes from a family of... There are two Ali families. Firoz comes from one of them. Firoz, Rafiq, Chini, Rizwan, whole bunch of brothers. And then there was Basid Ali, Asghar Ali, and a whole lot of other brothers who played professional golf. They dominated golf in India in the late 90s and the early 2000s. Have you had the opportunity of playing with any of them, Shaurya?
Yeah, I think I played with all of them. As you have a look at this part, just about going a little to the left, Firoz, of course, a brilliant player. Yeah, I think when you play golf long enough, you end up playing, get paired after the cut, prior to the cut. And of course, the you learn a lot from the experienced players, and not just their journey, but the journey of the professional golf tour of India as well. Now we go back to hole number 10. And Yuvraj Sandhu, our leader, is opening up quite the lead, six shots ahead of Saptak. Saptak, who is a really good golfer, has played on the Asian Tour and does venture abroad a lot. Still plays his golf there, and in India splits his time. And Yuvraj turning in 5 under through 9. It's hole number 10. Let's see if we finally end up seeing any birdies here on this hole today. That's a strong build right there. Going with an iron here on hole number 10. And just about missing it to the right. Should be all right. In the final leader group, we have two Yuvraj Singh, Yuvraj Sandhu. Yuvraj Singh, who we just saw hitting a shot there, and Sandhu now on the tee, playing alongside Saptak. There is a change of guard in golf, so to speak, over the last 5 years. We've seen the onslaught of youth. The experienced players finding a little more difficult to sort of keep step with the youngsters. Hole number 10 plays to 236 yards. That's one of the reasons why the scoring is high. But I remember in yesteryear we would be ending up hitting rescues, and if the hole was playing into the wind, you could even hit a 3-wood. But of course, the distance off the tee has increased a lot over the last decade or so. As we have a look at Yuvraj, teeing it up on the right hand side, probably going with a 4 or a 3 iron. He's red hot right now, reeling off a string of birdies and hitting an absolute beauty here. What a shot. That's probably the day's best that we've seen on hole number 10, making short work of this hole. An absolute beauty by Yuvraj.
If anyone could do it, it is Yuvraj, and he has delivered. So it was very interesting to see how he would. I was personally very keen to see how he would negotiate the 10th, and he has proved that he is indeed a champion, and he is in red hot form. Another thing that from a marketing perspective, as a part marketing guy, it's interesting to see these tee markers, servo cans as tee markers. Branding has evolved over the years. What's your take on that, Shaurya?
Yeah, indeed. And a welcome touch. I think they really do add flavor to the teas. So we have a look at Saptak. Saptak also going with an iron. Also a long hitter in his own right. Not quite certain where that is heading. A little to the left, and that's the area where it becomes rather difficult to try and make par from, because you're going to have to navigate, contend with that shoulder of the green and then try and hit a deft shot. But definitely the stage is set for Yuvraj. He's really in roaring form, and dare I say, maybe the course record also might be under threat. It's 60, set by Rahul Ganpati over 2 decades ago. So you never know. He's 5 under par at this point in time. The back nine does offer a lot of birdie opportunities, and look at that scenic view. It's one of the places that if you're a tourist or a golf lover, this is definitely some sort of a mecca for you. Must try and make this pilgrimage. Great place. Enjoy the tea gardens and also the hospitality, and get some golf in there as well.
I was fortunate enough to witness firsthand Rahul Ganapati's course record. Walked with him for a bit too. way back in the early 2000s. And as you say, if anyone can break it today, it's Yuvraj Sandhu. Meanwhile, we've got some interesting action on the greens on the 10th green. On the fringe, right on the fringe. Let's see if we can. It's not too long a putt, but let's see if we can negotiate it. That's Yuvraj's ball right in front. This looks more like a downhill effort, but oh, it's just that will end in a par. Oh, sorry, that was a bogey. Chipped onto the green after missing it. But Yuvraj is clearly sitting for a birdie. Misses it to the left, tantalizingly close. But such are the vagaries of golf. That's now we come to the champion, Yuvraj Sandhu, sitting on a birdie putt. If he drains it, this will be the first birdie on this hole today. There have been over 22 or 23 dropped shots and 5 double bogeys in the 10th so far. Will Yuvraj Sandhu change that statistic?
We saw that shot. Yuvraj flared on the right hand side. One of the reasons why we've seen a lot of bogeys here is it's a sliver of a green here. And there's quite a gradient as well, maybe almost about 15 degrees from front to back. So makes it a lot more difficult for the players to chip. Yuvraj distracted a little bit by the media team, but it's a difficult job, I'll tell you, trying to capture all the golf and say they're doing pretty well at this point in time. From the looks of it, you can say that Yuvraj does spend considerable time in the weight room, and rightly so. He's got that brute strength which you need in this game of golf now. I'd say it does really help you, especially in the long game. That left a little bit more in the tank. He needed about 7 or 8 feet more, a little bit of release as well that he was expecting. It's surprising for that to come to a sudden halt. But that's the feature of this golf course. More often than not, you have the grass growing into you, especially on the green, so that makes it a little more difficult. You've seen a few players come up from that front left. It's not been the easiest chip, but Saptak is further up, so a lot more manageable chipping it off the upslope. And that gives him a better opportunity. You can see that rehearsal swing, trying to utilize the bounce of the club. And that becomes so imperative in these sort of conditions. Let's see how he does here. Oh, that popped straight up. And coming out a little hot. We've seen that from that side, that players end up missing the green. It is a small green. And still has a makeable putt for his par, maybe all of 14 feet. He'd not be too happy with that chip shot, though.
One question of you, Shaurya, from a golfing perspective, what technical adjustments would you need to make to your chip shot when you're chipping out of thick crabgrass or normal grass on a normal golf course like maybe the Delhi Golf Club?
One of the things is that you have to really employ the bounce of the club, and what I mean by that is the trailing edge. More often than not, amateurs make the mistake of just digging in the club like a knife. That can work in different kind of grass, but it's very difficult on crabgrass. As we have a look at Yuvraj, your short game contact with the grass has to be a lot more precise. This putt should break from his left, right. Maybe he's the one that is going to make that solitary birdie on hole number 10. That really does look good when he's standing on the ball. Very conventional. The lines are really good. And this does look like it was tracking. Hit a good putt. A little bit too much twist in that tail, so as to speak, right towards the end, but a solid par. He would have been hoping for a birdie to continue that run. Now he finds himself 5 under for the day through 10. Of course, his efforts have been usurped by young Shaurya, who's 6 under par for the day and 6 under for the tournament. But of course, he really does hold a handsome lead at this point in time, does Yuvraj. Let's also have a look at some of the other scores today. Well, we have a look at a rerun of that putt. MD Akbar Hussain 3 under for the day. Then you had Prakhar Asawa 5 under par for the day. Brijesh Kumar 1 under. Pankaj Mandaya 1 under. So it seems like the top 25 players are under par. The rest of the field is over par. So it's a tale of two cities almost. Om Prakash Chauhan, former number 1. 3 under par. Om Prakash Chauhan having played a lot of golf on the DP World Tour in Europe, kind courtesy. His number 1 finish. That's something that Yuvraj will be looking for. Saptak now. And this is pivotal. He's already 6 behind. This could really open up a sizable lead. 7 shots. Giving it some thought. This putt should break from the right. A more makeable putt as opposed to Yuvraj's. It's downhill. Speed should not be the factor, but there is an inclination for the ball to bobble straight after contact. Maybe that's what he's thinking. Seems to be in two minds, so to speak.
Standing over that putt. He's gone back and forth. He's all set to let it loose. From the fringe. And has he... Oh yes, he sinks it. What a putt. What a putt there. And that saved him a lot of stress. But coming back to Shaurya Bhattacharya, well begun is half done is something that clearly doesn't apply to him today. He's playing 6 under today, but he's dropped shots on both his opening holes, the 1st and the 10th. But for that, he'd have been way ahead. Anyway, let me take the opportunity to hand the mic over to Mr. Rahul Banerjee.
Yeah, we'll welcome him in to the commentary booth while we have a look at Yuvraj's putt. Also have a right to left putt on these greens, which roll a little slower. Right to left putts are a lot more easier as opposed to left to right. So let's see if Yuvraj is able to follow suit. He does well, really well done. That's a brilliant save by both the players. So you see how golf, they call it the great equalizer. But also that it doesn't quite matter how you hit the shot. Yuvraj hit an absolute belter off the tee, but the other two players made really good 15-footers. Look at this putt. Really the pick of the litter here.
Tremendous stuff, Shaurya, definitely. I mean, not the easiest of putts, and both of them doing a great job of converting. So looks like the group in front. Not the best of lies again. But with the skill levels these players possess, almost nothing seems to faze them. Nice clean contact. A high launch aiming straight for the pin. This is not the longest of courses, but it certainly presents a test in terms of the undulations that cut across the fairways. You've seen from the few aerial shots there are a number of gullies and brooks that cross fairways at various points. And this green guarded by a fairly deep gully, and the ball obviously not making it all the way to the dance floor. But otherwise, it looks to be a beautiful day for golf. Absolute very little breeze, nice clean sunshine, and the forest on three sides of this historic course. It's been on this site since 1943. Though it was set up almost more than 100 years ago. And also the site, Digboy is also the site of India's first ever oil well and refinery both. Flags pretty still, indicating that the breeze that had got up over the first 2 days has not yet picked up. There's still a few minutes to go before noon. Probably that's maybe a turnaround time. But as things stand, at least the wind is not a factor. It's just the course that is going to test and is testing the field as we go.
Yeah, brilliant setup here at Digboy. You know, we've had quite a few memorable editions of this tournament. 25, that's a massive number. Silver Jubilee. As we have a look at the par 5, hole number 11. This is a definite birdie opportunity for the field. Plays only to 513 yards. Of course, it's flanked by trouble on the left-hand side. You have thick bushes where the ball can get lost. And you might have to reload. So, very interesting setup here. Most of the players going for this green in 2.
Seemed looked like it was Viraj Madappa trying to, again, like Shaurya mentioned, trying to find the dance floor in 2. But there's this gulch that guards the green, Shaurya. What do the players need to look out for on this course to, sort of keep, let's put it this way, damage down to a minimum?
I think a game off the tee is paramount that you have it under control. It's a course that you can get a red number or a blue number depending on how you execute your tee shots. Case in point is a hole like this. There is considerable trouble on the left and even a little bit on the right hand side. But if you're able to belt off a big drive, especially for the longer hitters, they'll have nothing more than a mid iron coming in here. So it becomes a definite birdie hole. So that's according to my experiences, what I've seen here, and the times that I did have good outing is you manage your game off the tee. You don't need to be the longest, but you need to be precise, and you need to be very self-assured as well. The wind can sometimes pick up, and they're enticing, some of these holes. So you want to take the driver, but sometimes taking your foot off the pedal is the prudent approach here.
Yeah, and that I think that visual that we just saw gave you a very good idea of the sort of deep undulations that mark this course. I mean, you can see them running right even. Veer Alawat is not the shortest of persons by any means. He's about 6'3", and you could barely see the top of his hat, of his cap, as he was walking down the fairway. So it just shows how deep the undulations are. So getting caught out, like Shaurya mentioned, it's very easy to flip a red number or a pink number into the blue side. And
पापा भूख लगी है, मुझे भी वॉशरूम जाना है।
पेट्रोल भी भराना पड़ेगा।
सब मिलेगा इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप पे। हर जर्नी को परफेक्ट बनाने के लिए इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत जैसी सुविधाएं चाहिए, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी।
बढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध
सॉरी सर, माय मिस्टेक।
पर हम भी जिद्दी है।
मुश्किल खड़ी है, खोले सीना, सामने एक चट्टान है, मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना, चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है। जिद क्या पावाली, जिद है जिद क्या पावाली, जिद है जिद क्या पावाली, जिद।
Back to the action. Viraj finds himself in Digboy golf course's Mariana Trench, the deepest point in the ocean, and definitely the deepest point here on this golf course. Makes it a little more difficult to try and get up and down, of course, because there is the elevation change, and when you're hitting from a level below, it's difficult to control the spin. You can see he has that club face flared open, trying to get the loft to aid him in his pursuit for a birdie. And why a birdie when you can get an eagle? Look at that. That's how you get it from the depth right to the hole. What an absolute beauty by Madappa. He was able to execute that to perfection. So not just a birdie. Sometimes, they want an eagle. The heart always yearns for more. Look at that. Right under the ball, putting that spin. And yes, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. It looks a lot more easier than what it is. Believe you me, it's difficult. An absolute smacking, beautiful eagle.
And that was actually a missile fired out of the Mariana Trench there, Shaurya. And he had absolutely no visual on the hole other than the top of the flag. Great control, as Shaurya just mentioned, and that will make him feel a lot better if it adds. That will probably take his score to 9 under for the day, and right into the top three. So terrific shot. Let us see what Sisodia and Veer Alawat have in store for us. Sisodia probably looks like he's got a birdie putt to make. Veer Alawat in the background cooling off. The Amritanj and Electrolux probably in that bottle. Hydration experts and tour partners of the PGTI. Shivendra Sisodia. No fuss with that one. Calmly slots it in. And Veer Alawat is even closer. Just a little tap in to make sure that his score gets on the card. And they need to pick up every advantage they can, Shaurya, because at the front, Yuvraj is setting such a hot pace. He's gone 5 under for the first 10 holes, and already on 15 under par for the event, 5 under for the day. And his own winning score of 23 under a few years ago, it looks under fairly serious threat. Anshul Kaptial on your screens now. Young man from Delhi, plays at the Army Golf Course, Epta, in Dholakwa. Long hitter, fine young talent. Has had a good year overall. He's been in and around the winning circle on many occasions. The 20-odd tournaments the PGTI has already held so far this season. Shankar Das marking his ball. It's a very verdant part of the country, the northeast. Thick forests, lots of wildlife, very exotic and very varied wildlife in this part of the world. Assam, of course, famous for the rhinoceros, the Indian rhinoceros, one-horned rhinoceros. Kaziranga, a few hundred miles west of this. And Anshul Kaptial just leaving his chip a little short.
Yeah, hole number 12 here, the par 4. Navigates this putt. Should break a little to his left. A little bit too much break on that one. The longer hitters can get maybe to the front edge or maybe even on this hole. And there's out of bounds on the right hand side, so there's not just a single point of worry. You have thick bushes, the out of bounds, and when you're laying up off the tee, you want to be sure of that deep valley, which is extends to almost 100 yards from peak to trough. And that was Ariman also unable to make that putt. So I'm assuming that was a birdie putt, so would have to be satisfied with par. Let's see, this is where experience comes in. Shankar Das knows how to play here. He's won so many times. And he's always been really good from 100 yards and in, as Shankar Das. A little unorthodox as far as the technique that he employs. It's a very unique case. He has the left hand down while hitting his irons. It's very rare to see the cack-handed approach on the long game. Going with the driver on the next hole. Just for your information, next to the 401 yard par 4. As you see, Yuvraj, that unmistakable walk, very assertive, got that swagger about him, and why not? You're 5 under for the day with a 6-shot lead.
Certainly good reason to feel comfortable where he is. Surely he's now 6 shots up the road from the nearest. The Veer Alawat currently sharing second place with Viraj Madhapa. Viraj picking up an eagle and Veer Alawat walking away with the birdie on that hole. So this is good signs because Yuvraj Sandhu is the sort of player who likes to sort of set the pace. He's a front runner. He's seen with his 4 wins this season so far. A clear leader in the order of merit race in the PGTI rankings as well. And this is where he likes most comfortable, obviously. Viraj Madhapa waiting for his turn, waiting for the green probably to clear in front of him. The group of Shankar Das, Aditya Mohan and Anshul Kaptial just because you saw them right in front of the camera moving off the green. And Viraj comfortably placed for his second shot. Again, those deep gulches and gullies that we've been seeing over the last hour and a half, giving a good idea of what sort of challenges this field of the remaining field in this Indian Oil Servo 25th Indian Oil Servo Masters faces. And yes, there you go, the Mariana Trench in action again. Now this time you can't even see the player because the previous time it was a fairly tall man in Viraj Madhapa, tall, big figure. Very similar to what we just saw on the group in front.
Very rarely is it that you can only see the club head on in your frame, as the golfer is saying a shot, but the Mariana Trench, as Shaurya has aptly named it, is in full swing. Let's see the result of the shot. And there we go. It's a lofted shot, but it's fallen a little way off the pin, let's say 12 feet ahead of the pin. Not everyone's lucky to get an eagle here. And here we have another shot being essayed from the crabgrass. Not easy from any perspective. Picturesque, the Digboy Club Golf Links, outstanding golf course. And if you're a golfer, you must sample the delights of this golf course before you hang up your boots. More of a jab than a full shot. What do you have to say, sir? Because you're an active golfer now.
He put the brakes on that ball well. You could see that it was skidding away, but it pulled up well, very well indeed. He wouldn't be too displeased with that shot. And you see very different approaches to the flag on from this hole. One from the depth of the gully, one from the right of the fairway, and now just off the green on the left. Saptak Talwar was second overnight, two behind the leader, but Yuvraj Sandhu has just pulled away from the field. 5 under for the day and 6 up the road from Veer Alawat and Viraj Madhapur, who currently share second place. Soft chip, and would have wanted to do a little better, but still a fairly makeable putt. We've seen some excellent putting on these greens in the last since we've been on air with you. Yuvraj Sandhu back to camera there, lining up, taking a good look at what he needs to do to keep the pace of his third round. Moving day, as it is known in professional golf. This is the day that you can really put the hammer down and try and build a bank, create a cushion for yourself heading into the final day that decides the title. And certainly Yuvraj doing everything right to put himself in as good a position as he can. It's a birdie putt, longer than he would have liked, certainly, but he's shown tremendous form with that flat stick, so he won't mind this. It's going to break a little more than he would have liked from right to left, and also a little short. That will leave him with just more than a tap in for par, which is not going to worry him too much. So, alongside him, we have Yuvraj Singh and Saptak Talwar playing in this lead group today. Yuvraj with his should be a birdie putt.
That's a good 6 footer, maybe 7 feet. And it misses the cup to the left and rolls another 3 feet beyond. It's not easy, really, to sink these putts, especially with the kind of pressure that prevails in professional golf. Now, Yuvraj Sandhu has earned over 1 crore in prize money this year, with a few tournaments left to play. That goes to show where the PGTI is in terms of what it offers its golfers in terms of profession. A great profession to have, a great platform provided by an outstanding body, whole bunch of golf lovers, supporters, patrons, sponsors, name it, you have them all. You just have to walk in there, work hard, and perform. Yuvraj Sandhu has taken every opportunity to do that. Meanwhile, here we're staring down another 6 footer. Saptak Talwar. Tied second at present at 9 under with 2 other golfers. Will want to inch closer to Yuvraj Sandhu. More importantly, you want to break away from this 3-way tie and make his own the second position.
Oh, he misses it to the right, some missing to the right, some missing to the left.
But as a group, I think they've all walked off with pars. And as long as you have no damage to the card, to your card, you can take it because they're all of them going fairly well. Yuvraj Sandhu, of course, in the lead, 5 under for the day, 15 under overall. Yuvraj Singh on screen right now, looking to finish off that putt that slid under the hole as it crossed, leaving with a 2-3 foot. Sometimes these can trouble you a little bit. He's taking his time over this putt. Yeah, right. Converted with no fuss. So Saptak Talwar, Veer Alawat, Viraj Madhapa tied for in a tie for second place on 9 under par. Talwar 1 under for the day, Viraj Madhapa 3 under for the day, and Veer Alawat 3 under. Yuvraj Sandhu continues to set the pace, 5 under. He has had some people in chase. Shaurya Bhattacharya, notably, the young man exchanging 9 birdies for 4 bogeys, so his round has been sort of held back a little bit, and he will finish the day on 6 under par, which is good returns, keeps him firmly in the middle of the top 10 at in a share of 7th place alongside Joshua Searle and Kevin Singh Sisodia. Ahead of them, Yuvraj Singh.
पापा भूख लगी है, मुझे भी वॉशरूम जाना है।
पेट्रोल भी भराना पड़ेगा।
सब मिलेगा इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप में। हर जर्नी को परफेक्ट बनाने के लिए इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत जैसी सुविधाएं चाहिए, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी।
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करे, एनर्जी लौटाए, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाए।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
बढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
With live action there. And Aryan Aditya Mohan on screen, tapping in on hole 13. Shankar Das looking to finish things off here. Once again, taking his time over the putt. Wily old performer, a winner in the past over here, 2017, he was the champion. So he knows what it takes to win at the Digboy Golf Links. This is the 25th year of the Indian Oil Servo Masters, the longest running single event on the PGTI's calendar. So much kudos to Indian Oil for being such staunch supporters of professional golf and the PGTI, and they continue to improve this facility year on year. It's a long putt, and Shankar certainly gave it some tap. And again, he will take his time over this one. He is not in a rush. He wants to make sure that he gets the most out of every opportunity, which is the way it should be. Every professional golfer is hungry to improve, as actually is every golfer. But in their case, the efforts to improve are more focused than the weekend warriors. And yes, this experienced man from Kolkata would not like to leave this with an adverse number on his card.
And he sinks it, Shankar Das. It's also interesting to note how golf clubs acquire their names. Now, a links course, last time I checked, had no trees in it. So good. The Digboy Golf Links is a name that is unique because the Gindi golf course in Chennai had no trees. It was built in the around a race course, so that was called the links course. What's your take on this, sir?
I think it's got more to do with the construction and the length of the fairways. If the deeper the rough goes from your tee box, the further away the landing areas, the fairways where they start. I think that's probably what constitutes closest definition to more. Actually, the real links courses tend to be the coastal courses, which really are the link because you have large stretches of sand or gorse and thick grass before the fairway starts as you approach the green. So I mean, technically, these are more or less parkland courses, but because it's been in existence for so long, maybe at one point it was like that. So the name, I'm just assuming, is this is what has happened. One of the most true to nature links courses in India is the one which is very close to Delhi. It's the Golden Greens. That is really I mean, comes closest to being a real links style course. The lead group in the frame, all three of them together. Yuvraj Singh on the right, Yuvraj Sandhu in the center, and Saptak Talwar on the right. I beg your pardon, on the left. Using the rangefinder to check distances. Like you mentioned, Ashwin, it's Yuvraj Sandhu maybe fell ahead, but the race behind him has become fairly tight. You have three people who are sharing second place, two people in a tie for fifth, three people in a tie for seventh. So the top 10 is fairly locked in between, let's say, between 9 under and 6 under is what you're seeing. There's three strokes covering the next 10 players behind the leader, Yuvraj Singh, with that high launch. Just looking down at his club, so maybe he's not too satisfied with the result of his approach. A little further up the road, Saptak Talwar and Yuvraj Sandhu. This, like Shaurya mentioned, Ashwin, this course has got so many little trips and traps and snares for the players. You need to sometimes sacrifice distance for accuracy, or plot your way around this course smartly, because you need to find the right areas for your next shot. And I think that comes, the more you play it, the better you get at doing that. And Yuvraj, of course, is like you mentioned, his first ever professional title came on this course, and he has won it again. So he knows his way around here really well. Has the best winning score at this event, at 23 under, a few years ago. Going to be on the edge of the green for this one.
Also, when it comes to distance, when it's an undulating course like this, you really have to calculate how far you really need to hit the ball, because sometimes if you hit the ball longer than you require to, you're left with a downhill shot, which is the last thing you need as an approach shot. So you've got to plan and strategically execute your shot, which is why a practice round is so important. And of course, someone like Yuvraj, who knows this course like the back of his hand, knows what to do on every hole. Another thing I noticed was Sampath Chari on a scooter there. I would love to know if there was some way to calculate as to how many times he's covered the circumference of the earth in a buggy or a scooter on a golf course. He's always on the move. That's Yuvraj Sandhu. Just off the green, chipping on. Setup is everything. His setup is immaculate. In the bunker, and he has, what a shot, what an outstanding shot. Only a man in impeccable form as he is can execute that. fairway bunker, greenside bunker, a fair distance from the pin, and he has nailed that shot. He's left with maybe a 1 foot putt.
They almost hold that eagle chip, blasting his way out of the sand. He has control on that ball.
Back to the green on hole number 15, the par 5. One of the most unique, beautiful par 5s that I've seen, and one that gives the player something to think about, especially the player who can carry the ball 280 yards. There's a small little stream running at about 280 odd yards from the tee. So players who can fly that far tend to go with the driver, but mind you, it's got bush on either side, so pretty reminiscent of of Delhi Golf Club. Pretty similar in that way, the topography. Can't miss it on either side. But if you're aggressive, then you can go with the driver, and you get maybe like a mid iron or short iron even in some cases. But I remember myself having being a little more conservative. You hit a 4 iron and then another, maybe a rescue and then a sandwich. So it gives you a couple of options how to go with it. This whole very unique golf course in that aspect. But I see now that as you have a look at Thanga Raja here, many players go with the aggressive approach, as Thanga just about misses that on the lower side. That was a good putt, nevertheless, by Thanga Raja. Very consistent 8 under par. Currently, Yuvraj Sandhu still leads the tournament, the 25th Indian Oil Servo Masters 2025 at Digboy Golf Links. A tournament with a rich history, a venerable golf course, an institutional in itself, and resplendent hospitality. Indian Oil being such a great company, and I having had the privilege of being a part of it as an amateur player, so doing so much for sport, not just for golf itself. Ravi Kumar having a good week. Ravi Kumar 2 over today, 3 under for the tournament. Red numbers here, of course, worth their weight in gold. Also under hitting that putt, breaking a little bit more from left to right. Ravi Kumar.
And you picked him out, Joshua Seals. He's one of a group of 17 or 18 overseas players who had entered for this tournament. Using the long putter. One of very few on the PGTI who do this. You see this more often than on the international bigger tours. And the picture on your right, Yuvraj Singh, which is approach shot, just skating it past the flag, but safely on the green. So he won't be too unhappy with that one. Saptak Talwar now on with his shot. Interestingly, Shaurya, among the top five, we have a good number of players who have yet to put a bogey on their card today. Yuvraj is bogey free. Veer Alawat in second in a tie for second is bogey free. Saptak Talwar is on your screen right now. He's bogey free, as is the experienced Sri Lankan Thangaraja, three-time winner this season on the PGTI. Saptak Talwar now with his approach.
Saptak hitting a really good shot there, flag high. Anytime you flag high, that's a good shot. You see, this is a very sort of unique golf course. You see a lot of these hollows just short of the green, and I think that's a good defense. Also helps the greens in a certain manner, so because it rains, so it helps to keep the water sort of away from the putting surface. So it serves both purposes, so as to speak. You kill two birds with one stone. Helps the greens roll well, and also adds to the degree of difficulty. As you can see, Yuvraj there is out of view. It's safe to say that he would have been attacking this hole at 401 yards. Has flowing mane. He reminds me a little bit of Charlie Hoffman's hairstyle on the US PGA Tour back in the days. It's good to see that you remember from yesteryears, golfers. Probably around the turn of the century, they became a very, very similar commodity. But earlier there was a lot of personality. You look at the likes of Sevi, somebody that on our professional golf tour of India, of course, there's so many stylish players now that fashion is taken so seriously. It's good to see players expressing themselves not just with their games, but also with their individualistic styles.
The one person who certainly stood out in many ways was John Daly, Shaurya, for not more than just his hair, of course. Lifestyle, his distance off the tees, and he's just the ultimate rebel, I guess you could call him. But yes, certainly a lot of players tend to make a statement with the hair, and in fact, for the last few years, the mullet has been very much in fashion.
Let's have a look at this putt. Should also break to the right. I'll tell you, Mr. Raul, that as you get older, you know it and I know it, that you forget about making a statement. As long as you have hair, that itself is a statement. That should break to the right. It's so yes, must be enjoyed while you can. And this should break now. That looks good. Oh, I'm surprised it had us both flummoxed. It looked like a really good putt. And that is where it can get a little difficult reading the greens, and had both of us a little confused. But nevertheless, a good putt. We have Saptak with a more conservative approach off the tee. Yuvraj, who we saw hitting that beautiful shot from that swale. Reminds you, you've been to the Open many times. You would have to Scotland. Have you ever been to St. Andrews on the 18th? Pretty similar sort of a swale here. Now this one. Also see the fitness trackers gaining a lot of traction these days. The players like to monitor everything from their sleep, recovery. It's a game of inches. You want to be ahead. Now this should be straight up for Saptak. Straight in the center should do it. Of course, the straight putts are a little more difficult than the ones that break either way. because there's not much margin for error. Just need to put a good stroke on this one. Saptak currently at 9 under par. He can get into solo second. And now that just veered off, so maybe it was a little left to right. And now that sets the stage for UV. UV now at 15 under par can actually have a 7-shot lead. Currently 6. What I like the most about Yuvraj is it doesn't quite rest on his laurels and likes to look at the bright side of things. He finished second last week and was still buoyed by the performance. He understands that it's a long journey and you have to pick the positives. He played some stellar golf at Chandigarh and it was quite the playoff. And, sometimes it does, the chips don't quite roll your way. But if you're a solid player, you'll definitely get your due. Now this after that stellar chip shot to get to 16 under par for Yuvraj Sandhu. Oh, misreading that and misses that, unfortunately. Yeah, a little difficult to get the lines correct. It's a different putting surface, but the players have done well. So he'd remain at 15 under par. Would you, Raj? The players a lot more aggressive this year off the tee. This tournament, it's a landmark event, the 25th event of the Indian Oil Servo Masters. And it's the first time that you are playing for a prize fund of 1 CR. So there's a lot of money for the players to play for. And it's a pivotal event, this one, because there's only 4 more after this. As we have a look at Yuvraj cleaning up. And the order of merit battle, that... it's a keenly contested battle. Yuvraj Sandhu, of course, wants to wrap that up. And the way he's playing, of course, he's making all the right moves. He's currently at 1 crore and 6 lakhs. So this year, I'm pretty certain that the glass ceiling is going to be broken in terms of the prize fund. It's going to be a record year. He's played 14 events. And, the rest of the field have played 21, 20, 22. So just shows you that his strike rate, the amount of money and his finishes are so much higher that he requires a lot fewer events and still performs to the best. He'd be reeling after that miss, but that's okay. It's quite a few opportunities coming up. Arjun Prasad, the youngster at 89 lakh, nipping at his heels. And look at that majestic view. It's not just about golf. It's a great getaway as well. From the hustle and bustle of
इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी.
I'm sorry sir, my mistake.
पर हम भी जिद्दी है. मुश्किल खड़ी है, खोले सीना, सामने एक चट्टान है, मेरी जिद का बोले पसीना, चट्टानों के अंदर आसमान है. जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद कैंपा वाली, जिद.
Some more views of the beautiful surrounds of the Digboy golf links. It's very clear day. It's patchy clouds, and in the distance you can see the eastern Himalayas in Arunachal Pradesh, just across the river from the Brahmaputra, not very far away. And on the screen now, Shankar Das. Brisk walk up to what maybe 16th tee. I think the shorter holes, they seem to be turning them into call holes to keep the pace of play up. At least twice or thrice we've seen, on par threes, the group on the green has sort of made way for the next group waiting on the tee box.
Yeah, that has always been done here at 16. I remember even from my days that the 16th I remember very categorically used to be a call hole at times. Not the other ones if I can recall, but that was only under extenuating circumstances, daylight saving, and so on and so forth. And now this is the peril that I tell you on this golf course. You're only seeing birdies and eagles, but this can happen if you're too aggressive or if you're not executing perfectly. The 15th is a par 5, the one that I was talking about, short par 5 490 with that hazard and the opportunity that you know the players feel that they have on the tee. But of course, a little errant, and then you can find yourself, and the chances of really finding that ball is like a needle in a haystack. And of course, the new rules. You can see the player a little despondent there. The new rules only afford the player 3 minutes. 3 minutes goes by in the blink of an eye. It's before you can say Mississippi. It's done. Earlier, you were getting 5 minutes and still. So that's. I think this is the only rule change that I don't quite. I'm not quite on board with. You want to get 5 minutes because the penalty is so high. Once you lose the ball, it's just 2 shots and go back. It can really derail your entire round. Because you're in a different state of mind. You're plucking the ball out. You're sort of a little hot under the collar. But most of the times, it's when you're finding a ball, it's not that errant. It's only when you give up that it's a real errant shot. When you're finding a ball, you just miss the fairway a little bit in the wrong direction, and lo and behold, you make the long walk back. In case you have a cart, the cart can take you, or if it's a hazard like it is in this case, then you can get a 2-shot penalty. I think it's a red stake. I'm not certain. That's why he's afforded that luxury. So in that context, you only lose 1 shot, so as to speak. So some damage prevention, so as to speak.
This is exactly what I think you were referring to earlier on. As you see the next group launching off the tee there, and you can get sucked into going for a slightly more adventurous or ambitious shot than you would have otherwise played it. So young Aryan Aditya Mohan there having, like Shaurya mentioned a little while ago, having attempted it probably a little too much, and then as a consequence losing at least 1 shot. The split screen now, Yuvraj Singh under that very hoary looking tree. That tree must be at least 100 years old. Lovely parallel shots, both players lining up their shots. Aryaman, Aditya Mohan looking to recover from that, and that's a pretty good effort there, chipping on to what looks like 3-4 feet from the pin, having given away a penalty. And beautiful shot on the dance floor. Tremendous display of accuracy there from our lead group. On the left, Saptak Talwar preparing for his tee shot, and on the right now, center screen, Shankar Das, former winner here 7-8 years ago. Knows his way around the golf course, but that sometimes does not help because, like both my co-commentators have been mentioning, this can trap you. And both of them know this course very well. Ashwin Krishnan, of course, being a member of the organizing setup in its very earliest years. And not just the golf course, he knows the jungles around the golf course pretty well, as had Shankar Das with his putt. It's a long one. He's left himself a number of long putts, and what a wonderful effort there. Just shaving the upper edge of the hole, leave him with a tap in. And Aditya Mohan, Aryaman Aditya Mohan there, and third member of this group, Anshul Kaptial. So this is a mix of the experienced and fairly raw youth. Shankar Das, the balancing factor with playing with two feisty young men. Ariman from Bombay and Anshul from Delhi. Lining up his putt. Just leaving the ball a little to the high side. So when past the flag. And also another tap in one. Shankar Das from the left edge of the green. And Anshul coming up the center. Hariman would want to, like we mentioned, limit the damage, having given a shot away in the penalty. Also lining up his putt.
So, just for our viewers who are joining us, we'd like to welcome you to the Professional Golf Tour of India, Indian Oil Servo Masters 2025, being played at the beautiful Digboy Golf Links. And this tournament now has a unique distinction. It's the longest running domestic professional golf event. And this year, the prize money has been escalated to its highest ever of 1 crore. This shows you how much some of these groups, especially Indian Oil, has done for golf, as that was an unfortunate miss right there. But Indian Oil, a company that needs no introduction. It is woven into the very fabric of our nation and has done so much for nation building and now, of course, sport. I myself have been lucky to be associated with that company. They really do a lot for sport, and especially golf. And this event, this location, it means so much, and it's seen so many winners here, so many past champions, and the best. What's the unique thing here is the cream always rises to the top. It's a challenging layout. It's not for the faint of heart. There's a lot of trouble everywhere, and there's a lot of opportunities as well. We go back all the way to 1999. Rohtas Singh, the legend who unfortunately passed away, and then Sanjay Kumar, Mukesh Kumar has so many victories. Ashok Kumar here, the winner. Harinder Gupta in 2005. It seems like he's a curious case of Benjamin Button. Doesn't look like he's aged a year. Then you look at Shankar Das, former number 1. Mukesh Kumar again, 2007, 2009. Mukesh Kumar again in 2012. This is his favorite playground indeed for Mukesh Kumar. Yuvraj Sandhu also winning in 2021 and 2022. So there is something to this golf course. You either like it and then you perform well, or you find it difficult. So if it suits your eye, if you're good off the tee, and then you can really dominate. And I think you're seeing a lot of fade players win here. Om Prakash Chauhan, Yuvraj Sandhu, very dynamic, can move it both ways. As we have a look at hole number 14 here. We also had Kunal Bhasin, 2013. The golfer based out of Australia, now at Mumbai. Very renowned coach now. Also very proficient player. Shankar Das, of course, many victories under his belt here. 3. So they definitely do come in droves here when you play here. Shamim Khan, multiple victories. 3 victories for Shamim as well. So I think that's a common theme here. Now look at UV on the par 5. And it's a pretty good chip shot by UV here on hole number 14. My apologies, 14th is the par 4, 15th is the par 5. 14th plays only to 316, so very good birdie opportunity here as well. He's just that on the back nine for UV. The putts haven't quite dropped, otherwise he could have been a lot lower. He currently commands a 5-shot lead over Viraj Madappa, who's made birdie on 14, the resurgent Viraj. I think anything anything more than 2 or 3 shots lead on the final day is a very commanding lead. And especially the kind of form that he is and the kind of player that he's going to be very difficult to usurp him. Of course, the trading pack is doing rather well, keeping up with Yuvraj, especially when he's on song, is no mean feat, I'll tell you that much. When we have a look at Saptak, who's putting for eagle, so brilliant drive to here, opting to go with the putter here. So whenever a player takes out a putter from off the green, his main agenda is to try and get it up and down. It's a more conservative approach, maybe a little too conservative here, leaving it about good 10 feet short. So will have his work cut out here, Saptak.
Golf is all about mindsets. Yuvraj Sandhu, the last 6 holes, has played to par after attacking the pin in his first 6 holes, first 7 holes, where he carded 5 birdies. So he's clearly trying to maintain his lead and not attack the pin and in that attempt possibly lose at least some ground. He's got a 5-stroke lead right now. Viraj Madappa, on the other hand, had nothing to lose. He has attacked the pin after a drop shot on the 3rd and come back with 3 birdies and an eagle on the 11th, sitting at sole second spot at 10 under. Interestingly poised is the Indian Oil Servo Masters 2025. 2 golfers sit at 9 under, Veer Alawat and Saptak Talwar. So golf lovers would be advised to head straight, whoever of course is in that region, to the Digboy golf links to witness some world-class golf firsthand.
Yes, world-class golf indeed. It's a jam-packed schedule for the players. Some stellar events coming up, and of course the Professional Golf Tour of India qualifying school in the month of January being played at Ahmedabad, Kensville. That's an opportunity for you to earn that card. You know, the feather in your cap. To have that card for the Professional Golf Tour of India gives you access to so many top tournaments that you can play. And now the tour schedule is indeed overwhelming. 28 events this year. It's going to be the highest in recorded memory. That's if it serves me right. 28 tournaments on a calendar year is really something. While Saptak tries to make that putt, and this was a good putt, just skirting the hole. 28 events, and even the minimum events this year, the prize fund has been 1 crore. It's just mind-boggling, to be honest. It's a lot of money to play for, and of course a lot of competition. You're seeing the best players, even from the world, come now to the Professional Golf Tour of India. You have the DP World Championship, the co-sanction event, and that gives the players a lot of opportunity to rub shoulder with world greats. As we have a look at Yuvraj here. Post this event, we head on over to Rambagh Golf Club, and that's a miss for Yuvraj. Rambagh Golf Course will host the PGTI Players Championship presented by Victoria's Choice. Then over to the Vishwasamudra Open at the Delhi Golf Club. That's going to be quite something, worth 2 crore that event. And then you have the Sidco Open presented by Larsen and Toubro, a new event at Kharghar Valley Golf Course. And then the final event for the year, the Tata Open 2025. So a lot of money still to play for the players. And the top of the order of merit, it looks like Yuvraj seems to have a vice grip. Not on the tournament, but of course on the order of merit as well. Arjun Prasad, of course, is also having a decent week. He's at 3 under par. He's been really good, very consistent this year, Arjun Prasad. As we have a look at Yuvraj trying to make his birdie here. Arjun Prasad has played 20 events this year, has made 19 cuts, 1 victory. Yuvraj already amassed 4 victories. Is this going to be number 5? He had that season where he had 5 victories and Manu had 6, so maybe he can go 1 better on his own record. What a fantastic win percentage he has. Oh, that is very unlucky there. That's more than a horseshoe. I don't know what you call it. The hole gobbled it and then just came out. Unlucky there, Yuvraj. But what I like the most about him that he stands tall and keeps walking. Look at that. That went in. Oh, and they came out. Maybe a little firm. Just catching the back edge. So he'd remain at that score. Yeah, he'd feel like he's given one back. He's made 4 pars, 5 pars on the back 9. So has not made a birdie for 7 holes now. That is quite something, given the fact that he has such a proclivity for making birdies. And let's have a look at some of the other scores today. We have N. Thangaraja, 4 under par. Shaurya Bhattacharya, 6 under par today. Stellar golf by young Shaurya. Badal Hussain and Jamal Hussain from Bangladesh, 3 and 2 under. Joshua Seal from Zimbabwe, a 1 under par. He's also 5 under. Joshua has played previously as well on the Professional Golf Tour of India. He plays on different tours all over the world. I remember he's ventured here quite a few times and likes playing his golf in India. And it's good. We see foreign players add flavor to the Professional Golf Tour of India. Back to hole number 15 for Shivinder. The par 5. My assumption is that he would be here in 2, given his prodigious length and aggressive attitude off the tee. Oh, that was an absolute beauty. Should be able to make that, and it would be either a par or birdie, depending on what transpired thus far on this hole. After this, you have the 16th hole, an absolute beauty of a par 3. Only a pitching wedge or a 9 iron. You have to walk through a sort of a gorge, a jungle, and many a times I remember seeing elephants pass through there. So it's very unique. This golf course has a lot of wildlife. Can remind you a little bit of the golf courses in South Africa, Kruger Park, and whatnot, where you used to see a lot of those reels. This is very similar in that aspect. You can see a lot of wildlife. When we played here, it's a very famous guest house that all the players stay at, and that would be frequented by elephants. So Viraj Madappa on hole number 15. Viraj, very tall, long levers, does help get the ball airborne and hit a mile, and also under reading that and missing it on the lower side. On the lower side, yes.
We've seen quite a few putts like that. One, of course, Yuvraj Sandhu's putt that literally jumped out of the box, out of the hole, so to speak. And Shaurya was talking about the prize purse, 1 crore, which is outstanding because when the tournament first started here in 2000, the prize purse was 5 lakhs. And the winner got to take home just in excess of 80,000. It was 16.2%. 1 crore is phenomenal and goes to show how the sport of golf is growing in these parts and, of course, across the country. And the talent that's come through over the years. And yet another short putt missed. What is the reason, sir? What do you think the reason is for so many short putts being missed? I mean, people have drained some really long ones. That eagle, for instance, was... golf is not an easy game to master. What's your take on this, sir?
A lot of these greens obviously a little more subtle than seems to meet the eye. So, and this is part and parcel of the game. I mean, you can make beautiful putts from 15, 18, 20 feet, miss some from 4, 5, 6 feet. That's the way it goes. What's important is to keep your focus, keep your game intact, keep your mind clear, quickly put behind whatever is gone. And our Currently in second place, all by himself, Viraj Madhapa, 10 under par, lining up for a birdie putt, which will taking him a step closer to event leader Yuvraj Sandhu, also the PGTI rankings leader, currently on 15 under par for the tournament and 5 under for the day. No fuss there. Tall man from Kolkata. He had a difficult period in the middle and he's come back very strongly. He's won this year as well. And we were talking very briefly mentioned this, and Shaurya mentioned it as well. The 16th hole is where you do get to see a lot of wildlife. And our co-commentator Ashwin Krishnan actually has had a fairly interesting encounter on that very hole, or just off it, with an elephant. So maybe Ashwin, just before the next group comes up, could you share that little story with our viewers?
Well, it was a memorable experience, one that has not left me ever since. So the 16th hole is a short par 3, as Shaurya had mentioned, a 9 iron or a pitching wedge away from the pin.
पापा भूख लगी है, मुझे भी वॉशरूम जाना है।
पेट्रोल भी भराना पड़ेगा।
सब मिलेगा। इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप में। हर जर्नी को परफेक्ट बनाने के लिए इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत जैसी सुविधाएं चाहिए, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी।
A short walk inside, and I suddenly heard a trumpet and heavy feet behind me. So I was on an uphill slope, and I ran uphill, which is the silliest thing to do technically, because if an elephant is chasing you, it can catch you fast uphill. But then luckily we managed to find another downhill slope and get out of the golf course. And the white trouser that I had was all brown and cut up. Not the best situation to get back to office in, but it was an experience that I'll never forget. So as Shaurya had mentioned, this course is full of... There's another story which will come up a little later, but on to Shaurya for a minute.
That's a beautiful story. It turned out that way so that we can have a laugh about it. But I know that, I thought the 16th was difficult. I didn't quite know that this can happen as well. But number one stroke index. So we see 16. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're feeling a little too adventurous, head on over. Hole number 16, slight little detour on the right. You can find all kinds of wildlife there. But I would implore you not to try what Ashwin did. He's quite nimble on his feet, so he could outrun an elephant.
From what I've heard of the story, he did the smart thing, Shaurya, by opting to run downhill, because that's difficult for a heavy animal to do, chase you downhill. So, and a good thing you guys stayed on the golf course, because leaving it for the jungles like Ashwin did would take you into really closer encounters you don't want.
That's the leader group on the par 5 15th. The two Yuvrajas. It will be interesting to see in future times with Yuvraj Singh, the cricketer, also playing golf. If there is ever a 3-ball with 3 Yuvrajas in it. Anyway, coming back to this elephant story, there was once, pretty much before I first went to Digboy, a situation where there was a local tournament going to take place and an entire ground had to be marked GOR because an elephant tumbled down the fairway. So that was another story we are told. So it's not only inside the jungles that you find elephants in Digboy.
A number of courses in Assam have that. The one in Guwahati, which is in the army area, has the same. You have the Meghalaya Hills very close to that, and we come back to that another day. Saptak Talwar lining up his shot, even as the hunt continues in the jungle for the other errant ball. This is our lead group now playing the 15th hole, par 5. I think Yuvraj Singh is a bit of mystery over here. They're not really sure what is happening. Middle of the fairway, Saptak Talwar. Nice clean strike. It's almost like he was using the contours of the rough to get his ball onto the dance floor, and he's pretty much succeeded in doing that. Just off to the left of the green here on this par 5. Not a very long hole. And in the distance, you have our leader, Yuvraj Sandhu, trying to figure out what to do next, where to go with his next shot. And the Sevro Masters, of course, being the longest running event on the PGTI is scheduled now in its 25th year.
Three golfers tied at third position. And ironically, all three have not erred once today. They've had strings of birdies, and Saptak Talwar is the least flamboyant of all, with just one birdie on the 7th, but he has a sea of pars. So essentially, the golfers tied at third place are all bogey-free today. It's going to be an interesting round tomorrow because Yuvraj Sandhu, for all that we can see, is trying to maintain his 5-stroke lead, even if he can't increase it to 6. But Viraj Madappa, with 3 holes left to play, will be going for nothing short of gold because he wants to reduce that lead and increase the pressure on the leader. As we've all seen in the past, it just takes one hole to reduce the deficit by 2 or 3 strokes in golf. So a 5-shot lead is just 2 bad holes away from covering up for the guy who's chasing the leader.
Yuvraj Singh in the wars there, still trying to figure out what to do, where to go next. This seemed to have gone well left of the fairway with his ball, with his drive. And as we've heard about Shaurya and Ashwin mentioned, this course may not be the longest, but it certainly has more than its share of traps and snares for the field, for the players. And as we're getting towards the closing stages of this third day, moving day as it is known in professional golf, our event leader Yuvraj Singh, 15 under, that early burst of birdies has sort of calmed down somewhat. He's had a string of pars thereafter, starting from the 8th all the way till the 14th. He just played for par, missed a couple of close putts, but I won't disturb him unduly because he still has a 5-shot cushion over Viraj Madappa. Yuvraj,
मेरा नाम ओजी है। क्या रहा? शॉट है भाई। Let's go. चलो। चलो।
Bokuwa, Drugas.
मेरा नाम Gojra है। Welcome to Tea at Tea, where we sip some tea and spill some tea and play a hole. बहुत स्वादिष्ट है। Ooh. Ooh. What did I say? What is it?
क्या कर रहा है यार?
क्या कर रहा है यार?
Exactly like that. So you take it.
Dhruv. क्या रहा? Okay, we'll play first.
Yeah.
No, we'll play for it here. We'll play for it here.
Good fight, good fight.
Yeah, good fight. Good.
How do you say that, that's my bag? ये मेरा bag है.
Huh? ये मेरा bag है.
Yeah.
मानीराम कोचरो है.
मेरा नाम.
मेरा नाम कोचरो है.
You're a bad student, bro.
How do you say? Shot, yeah, bhaiya. What a shot. Do you want to put something on the line? Cheers.
It's already $500, right?
Huh? Yeah,
We're playing $500.
Is that what we're doing?
Yeah. It's already.
You want to do loser 20 push-ups here?
Yeah.
You like that?
Let's do that.
20.
Yeah. Let's do 10, bro.
Let's do 25. 25th anniversary. That's perfect.
Yeah.
One for every year that there's been a tournament at this amazing golf.
Let's do 25 push-ups. Loser does 25 push-ups. What if it's a tie? We save them.
We both do 25.
Yeah.
For Indian oil. This is
Let's
for you
go.
guys. 100%. Thank you guys. Thanks for having us. Oh my god. Oh, wait, my triceps were about to... Oh, what a shot. Okay.
Like,
take
is it? I hope it's not coming on your nose.
No. It's good.
Will you hold it?
That's a 3.
Yeah. From where?
That's a 3. That's a par. Okay, write that down. Left, little left. It's breaking right. A little more left. Okay, right there. Downhill 3.5 feet. Oh, what a putt! What a putt! Come on. Right there. Here we go. Hey, Koi. Indian oil. This is for you. Thank you for having us out here. 25 years at this amazing golf course. We're going to do 25 for the people back home. Indian oil, thank you. Thank you. 25th anniversary. Go. Let's go. 25.
Of tea and samurai for you there. Saptak Talwar, edge of the green. This is the lead group on camera for you. And as it stands, Yuvraj Sandhu continues to lead the way by 5 shots. 5 under for the day. He's 15 under for the tournament. 10 under is his closest pursuer, Viraj Madhapa, with 3 sharing third place, Gangaraja from Sri Lanka, Veer Alawat, and Saptak Talwar on your screens right now.
Saptak Talwar on the 15th is lining up his putt. As mentioned earlier, he's had just 1 birdie today, but he's had a blemish-free round. The birdie came on the 7th. He will want to edge closer to the leader, hopefully make his own the sole second position. He's chipping now, Saptak Talwar. You want to get it as close to that pin, if not right in the heart of it. And he falls short, and really short. It's a long way to go. Long putt staring him in the face. Hole number 15 is the final par 5 in an 18-hole round on this golf course. It's followed by the famous par 3 16th and 2 par 4s in the 17th and the 18th. As you're aware, this is in the far east of India, is Digboy. And day begins really early. The sun probably sets around 4:30 in winter. Shadows come into play in the second half of the day.
Just one reason why we have joined our viewers a little earlier than normal. I'm sure the tournament director pushing the pace of play along to make sure that they get done. Because, like Vashon mentioned, by around 4 o'clock, and particularly with winter setting in now, it will get dark very quickly and very suddenly. So, I'm sure nobody wants an incomplete round. So, pace of play has been fairly rapid. Saptak now with his putt. Terrific job, Paul. Just breaking away and staying a little low at the very last minute. But from that distance, 15, 18 feet, great effort. Shouldn't feel that he's missed out. Yuvraj Singh is up next. And our event leader, Yuvraj Sandhu, as well. Okay, so Yuvraj Sandhu will putt first. Somewhat slightly similar distance to what we just saw Saptak Talwar make his attempt from. It's a eagle putt for Yuvraj Sandhu, which he just misses, but will give him a very welcome birdie because he hasn't picked up a shot after the 7th hole. Had a long stretch of pars, hasn't given anything away, but hasn't really made any further gain, which he will do now if he's allowed to finish the putt, which he does. Takes him to 6 under for the day and 16 under overall. Now 6 shots up the road from second place, Viraj Madhapa. Looks to have the wind back in the sails. Yuvraj Sandhu, the PGTI rankings leader as well by some margin from second place Arjun Prasad. And on your screens now, Yuvraj Singh looking to close out the par 5 15th. Bogey putt for him. Ball. If you lose the ball, I think this probably has something of a knock-on effect on the rest of that hole particularly. So Yuvraj, I think, feeling the pressure there just a little bit. But I'm sure he'll certainly look to regroup and come back as quickly as possible and make sure that the gap between him and the leaders stays within a manageable limit. Yuvraj Singh now. Makes no mistake this time, leaving the way for Saptak Talwar to finish up with the 15th and move on to the last few. 16, 17 and 18. 16, of course, the slightly notorious par 3 which you just heard about, and the 2 closing par 4s. And joining us is our co-commentator Shaurya Singh.
Yeah, 16th, the hole in view. Ashwin, your friend might still be lurking around somewhere, as they say. The memory of an elephant, and maybe he's hearing the commentary right now and reminiscing on good old days when he almost trampled you. So it's a hit and miss, ladies and gentlemen, on hole number 16. A lot can happen here in Digboy, and I'm not just referring to the golf, but currently on your screen is Yuvraj Sandhu, our leader. The man with the silken touch on hole number 16. Maybe going with a pitching wedge here. This whole plays to about 135 yards. Let's see how he does. And a good shot, just a little short there. Maybe half a club more required. This hole number 16 measures 127 yards, but the pin a little further behind. So playing almost about 135 yards. 17th is a very difficult hole here. The 10th and the 17th, probably the 2 most difficult holes on this course. Front 9 offers quite a few birdie opportunities. The par 5s here are very genial. You can strategize and make birdie, or can, of course, run the gauntlet, so as to speak, and take on the hole with the driver, as you have a look at Yuvraj here. Was teeing it up a little to the right hand side. That would normally indicate that the player is opting to hit a left to right shot here. Oh, he's hit an absolute belter. What a shot by Yuvraj Singh, who is 1 over par today. He has fortunately made a double bogey on 15, so it harkens back to what I was saying. Maybe he was a little aggressive off the tee. Of course, that's conjecture. I like this approach a lot more. Tee towards the left-hand side, playing a draw on this hole. Saptak. Of course, there is a tree overhanging, so there's not much room to turn it from right to left. That tree can impede upon your intended line of play, and the ball can collide with it if you miss your target by a mere 3 or 4 yards. So it's all about thin margins here in the beautiful golf course. That is underway. And another good shot. About 15 feet left, so 2 really good shots here. Yuvraj, of course, coming up a little short. It's back 9. Yuvraj has made birdie on the par 5, so he is once again leading the tournament by 6 shots over Viraj Madappa. So it's going to be interesting to note who is going to be joining Yuvraj in the final leader group. Currently, it looks like Viraj is the front runner, and Thangaraja, of course, shooting a brilliant 5 under par round to reach 9 under par. Veer Alawat at 9 as well. So you have 3 golfers tied at number 3 position.
Certainly, Yuvraj Sandhu flirting a little bit with danger there, but he's come through safely. So we focus on Veer Alawat now, a little further up the road. Gentle little chip in. Would have probably wanted that ball to have rolled a little bit further up than it did, but no harm done. It was a fairly makeable putt for a man of his abilities and capabilities. And as Shaurya was mentioning, currently the race is now on to see who will be part of the lead group tomorrow. Yuvraj Sandhu, of course, now 6 shots up the road from the chasing pack. The man on your screen, Viraj Madappa, currently in sole second place by himself on 10 under par, 4 under for the day. And a bunch of 3. Thangaraja, vastly experienced Sri Lankan, having a clean round, 5 under for his, and he's done for the day. Veer Alawat and Saptak Talwar. Who will be the possible third from this group of 3 remains to be seen. Viraj Madappa, sole second on 10 under par, looking to 2 ways you can look at it: close the gap on the leader or put a little bit more distance between himself and those behind. Unmistakable figure, tall man. It's a long, long way to go for the ball. And on your right, you have our leader, who also left himself a fairly long putt, but comes up with a very decent effort to pin high from where he was at the absolute fringe of the green. It should be a fairly straightforward conversion for him. Yuvraj Sandhu will stay on 16 under for the event and 6 under for the day.
Shivinder now on hole number 17th. The postcard hole here. Players normally hit a 4-iron off the tee and then another mid iron. A very difficult hole. Not for Shivinder, of course. The green is perched up almost about 25 yards of the level from where the players hit the second shot. It's got this cascading sort of fairway. 3 levels to it. The third, you find yourself in the creek. Very interesting setup here indeed at Digboy Golf Links. So your leader is at 16 under par. He's been in menacing form this year, Yuvraj Sandhu. We'll have to do some arithmetic to understand how many under par he is. I remember him breaching the 50 under par in 2 events itself. So, he's been on the prowl this year. Veer Alawat just missing that on the lower side. Had that brilliant runner-up finish at the DP World Indian Open last year, I believe it was. What a finish that was. Not just the world ranking points, the privilege, and then everything else. It's a sizable check as well. So, a few. Leaving it short. Yuvraj under hitting that one. Back to Yuvraj. Should be able to make that. So if you can golf your ball, ladies and gentlemen, not just the privilege, world ranking points, but you can really pick up some currency as well.
Certainly that result last year, Shaurya helped Veer Alawat go a long way in making sure that he topped the Order of Merit and got to play a year at the TP World Tour. And Yuvraj Sandhu just looking to clean up, which he does efficiently, smoothly. And moving on to the final 2 holes of his third round. Moving day, as it's known in professional golf, is where you try and make a mark, really put as many good numbers on your card as you can, and which is exactly what our both the PGTI rankings leader and event leader Yuvraj Sandhu is doing in some style at the moment. Shivinder Singh Sisodia on screen, and a good look at a lot of the supporters that back the PGTI's tour through the year. Notably, this Indian Oil, who have supported this tournament for 25 years in a row. That's a long blast there. Seems to have found a cart path at the very edge and still rolled off.
Yeah, that is uncharted territory for the medium hitter. Having played this event all the years, only the longest hitters get to the road. It's a left-right shot of the tee and placed about 360 yards. But if you can cut the corner, hit a long one, that road is about 15 yards short of the green. So that is indeed a lusty blow from Shivinder. It will be interesting to note if Viraj can actually get it there or past it. It's interesting, this hole. That bunker is precariously placed on the green, though not the easiest chip for the golfers. He's also not held back at all. He's given that the Sunday special. And that is bounding on. And that also having crossed the road, that's a big one. So that is indeed the long hitter's territory. And a car goes by as well. So you see everything, of course. It's timed. This is a long hitting group. I'd say that, from Veer probably would be the longest hitter in this group. Of course, all of them do have the ability of generating a lot of speed. I'd say Veer maybe just about 5 yards more than Viraj, 5 or 7 yards. Veer can get the ball maybe even 310 in the air. Yeah, he's also gone for that. You can see, and that's the 12. So 3 beautiful drives. Let's see where this one ends up. Okay, now it should bound on. Our camera is... so we'll soon know. I think that might be the longest of the lot. 3 beautiful drives.
Yeah, everyone going for broke on this hole and doing it pretty well is doing it well too. As Shaurya pointed out, that road crosses the fairway not very far away from the green, so at least 2 balls we've seen that did make it across the tarmac and back onto the grass. And we're still waiting to see where Veer Alawat's ball has gone. But as Shaurya pointed out, there was a twirl of the club at the end of the shot, so and you can see everyone gave it full beans. There's the Dehing forest that surrounds the Digboy course and the oil facility nearby. In the distance, you can get just a glimpse of.
पापा भूख लगी है, मुझे भी वॉशरूम जाना है।
पेट्रोल भी भराना पड़ेगा।
सब मिलेगा इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत पेट्रोल पंप पे। हर जर्नी को परफेक्ट बनाने के लिए इंडियन ऑयल स्वागत जैसी सुविधाएं चाहिए, क्योंकि स्वागत है हैप्पी जर्नी की रेसिपी।
What a great shot! But he looks tired. And that's a drinks break.
But what's the plus sign for? अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस। जब लगे थकान वाली प्यास, जरूरी है सेल लेवल हाइड्रेशन। इसके इलेक्ट्रोलाइट्स आपके सेल्स को रिहाइड्रेट करे, एनर्जी लौटाए, थकान वाली प्यास मिटाए।
जब आपको भी लगे थकान वाली प्यास, अमृतांजन इलेक्ट्रो प्लस, थकान वाली प्यास के लिए।
पढ़ता है, खेलता है, झूलता उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया।
Picturesque Digboy golf links. You can never tire of this golf course. Even if you're not playing the sport, just being there and watching golf here is a great experience. Of course, we know of Kaziranga, which is so close to Digboy, and the Rhino Reserve. There are also leopards at the Digboy golf links, all kinds of flora and fauna. Meanwhile, there is some outstanding golf on display here as well. Yuvraj Sandhu leading the field at 16 under, the leader of the Order of Merit, man who has earned an excess of the prize money on offer in this tournament this very season. This event, the Indian Oil Servo Masters Golf 2025, has witnessed the prize purse increase to 1 crore for the first time in the history of the 25-year history of the tournament. Yuvraj Sandhu has earned 1 crore 6 lakhs plus this season in prize purse alone. He's leading the field at 16 under, and 6 strokes behind him sits Viraj Madappa, who's made a late charge and who tallies 4 under for the day. There's another 5 under score, and Tangaraja has finished his round at 5 under and is sitting tied third with another golfer, Saptak Talwar, at 9 under. So it's not going to be as easy as it looks, and Yuvraj Sandhu, with the kind of experience he has, knows that he has to keep that heat turned on if he has to win this tournament. That's Saptak Talwar. You can see the undulating golf fairway behind him. There he lets his second shot rip. And wow, that's one hell of a shot there. The approach shot has come to rest 6 feet short of the pin.
Yeah, this is an aerial look at hole number 17. You can see the players hitting their second shot. So you can see that the players draw a downhill lie from here, and they have to get considerable elevation as well into their second shot, because the green is high, almost about 20 yards above them from the level of the ball. And it's not easy to get it on this level as well off the tee. So they've done well to get their tee shot up clear. Sometimes it can get stuck on the downslope as well. And from here you get, maybe for these players, a 7-iron. And an absolute beauty here. The way he flights his irons and hits them is just a treat to watch. What a brilliant shot! I remember this hole used to be, you would be happy with this hole and making a par on this hole in the yesteryears. But of course, he's really on song. Has been so since he's turned professional. He just had a few struggles the first year, but from there, it's just been ascending to new heights, and it's quite the player, Yuvraj Sandhu. And for that very reason, he is leading, ladies and gentlemen. He's leading the 25th Indian Oil Servo Masters, the Silver Jubilee, being led by the very promising Yuvraj Sandhu and followed closely by Viraj Madappa and Thangaraja from Sri Lanka. Saptak Talwar, Veer Rawat, Shivinder Sisodia, Shaurya Bhattacharya, Badr Hussain, Jamal Hussain, the experienced campaigner, even Joshua Seal adding some experience in the top 10. Long hitting Anshul Kavatyal and Yuvraj Singh round up the top 10. Om Prakash Chauhan just a shot outside the top 10 at 4 under par.
Saptak Talwar is staring down a 6-footer. Brilliant approach shot has left him with just a 6-foot putt to drain. The other thing that's gorgeous about Digboy is the weather. The weather is simply outstanding.
Now you see on hole number 18, there's a discussion between the tournament referee and Shivinder. So the fact that his ball is off the cart means off the cart path, rather the road, he won't get a drop for that. But if its stance is there, he can be afforded a drop. But then he would need to decide what is the closest point of relief, which is not nearer the hole. So many things to consider there while we go at hole number 17. Yuvraj now has missed the green. It appears to be on the left-hand side. We'll soon find out how this chip shot works out. Yes, he's missed it towards the left, and he's left it fairly short, about 15 feet. And we've seen that happen a few times to him, so a little conservative when hitting these chip shots. Yuvraj, of course, won over par today. It's not the kind of day that he would have hoped for. But a very solid player in his own right. Currently, of course, overshadowed by the other Yuvraj, who's leading the tournament. Saptak Talwar, very calm demeanor, very even-keeled, not too emotive. Could make for a brilliant poker player, I tell you that much. And right now, the only thing that you're focused on is on the color of money. That famous movie, of course. These players play for honor and pride. Money is just an added bonus that is sprinkled on top. Of course, it's really important. Makes the wheel turn. Also going with the cack-handed approach with the lower hand down. Helps to quiet down the right wrist. And that just about misses on the lower side. Setting the stage for Yuvraj. If he can make this putt, he'd have a sizable 7-shot lead. There's no lead which is unassailable, but I think it'd be safe to say for a player like him, 7 shots. But having seen that he's never quite content with just winning. He wants to push his limits and see how well he can play. That's what I really like about him. If he's winning by 7, he'd like to win by 8. He wants to better his own performance. And that's the common theme. That's the bunker on 18th. It really does come into play, especially of those shorter shots. You don't have much green to work with. If you get a little too greedy, that can gobble your ball up.
What a beautiful aerial view. No prizes for guessing where the sun is and which direction we're facing. That's the west to the left of the bunker. That's at 11 o'clock from your screen. Another approach shot. The fairways aren't really narrow. They're large enough. There's enough room for error. It's not like some golf courses where the fairway spills into a thick rough and then with the jungle following it. Now, after having taken his ruling, it's measuring the distance up to the green. Meanwhile, Yuvraj Sandhu would have liked to have drained that putt, but misses it. Playing it safe. A 6-shot lead, a 6-shot cushion, so to speak, going into the final round is something anyone would take. At this stage, I think the mindset of the golfers is such that they want to retain that instead of forging ahead and trying to increase it. Tomorrow, attack will be the best form of defense at some stage, but till such time, they need to ensure, Yuvraj certainly needs to ensure he retains his lead.
At multiple shots now in view. Shivinder opting to roll that up, so shows you that even the shortest shots are not the easiest. I don't think he's quite made it up till the green. So it's also about the design of the hole, where the bunkers are placed. Very strategic placement. Even if you're a long hitter, you can get close, but to make your birdie, you'll have to really work for it. We'll look at Yuvraj Sandhu here. Cleans up for his par. And we'll now move on to the final hole for the third day. The third day is referred to as the moving day. And the reason they call it is that you make the cut. And that's a chip. That's a brilliant chip shot. Didn't take much time. Shivinder is a quick customer and a cool customer at that. So makes par. He's just about gathering himself and finishing with the wedge. That's something that I would implore our weekend warriors not to try. Takes a little bit of skill to get used to that. Otherwise, you might end up scooping it. As you have a look at hole number 18. Yuvraj Singh first. Unleashing. Not quite certain where that is gone. That is bounding on towards the left-hand side of the fairway. Not quite sure if it's made it all the way up till that road. The Servo 40 Extra. If you're a fan of driving smooth, long drives, then definitely that is what your bike needs. 25th edition of this tournament has been as gripping as the 24 earlier. We've always seen the best players revel in this opportunity that is provided to them. It's quite the sojourn here that you have a sort of idyllic setting, a world away from, the hustle and bustle. And now Yuvraj Sandhu, also on the left-hand side of the tee, and has really not held back on that one. And rolling just, that shows he's about good 15 yards past Yuvraj's drive, and that's perfect. In fact, where the flag is placed, I'd say that is probably a better position than where Shivinder was. And if he's drawn a decent lie, he can actually get under the ball, so maybe able to pitch it on the green from there. Now the last on this tee, Saptak. Saptak also a good hard hitter, has a very heavy hit on the ball, able to transfer all his weight on the ball, and especially after impact is able to hold the left wrist. So gets a very strong, deep hit each and every time. Majority of the field going with the driver on this hole. 357, right from the tips. Yeah, that's definitely a swing that he's given it all. You can see that was given the full treatment. And as that bounds on, that should be able to cross the road. I think that's the long hitters corridor, that road, ladies and gentlemen. So if you ever play here, that's a good view. It's about road about 20-25 yards short of the green. All three of them underway.
Another beautiful aerial view. Yuvraj Sandhu has erred only thrice in the 3 rounds. This is the last hole of his third round, but he has erred just thrice with just 3 bogeys. He has 19 birdies to his credit, so that goes to show that he has played a very well thought out game of attack and defended where required, as is clearly evident from the fact that from hole number 8 all the way up to hole number 14 today, he had a sea of pars. He birdied the 15th. He has had 2 more pars on the 16th and the 17th, and here he is on the final hole of day 3 at the Indian Oil Servo Masters 2025. Man was won the tournament in 2021 and 22. His first victory in professional golf came at Digboy, and he will hold this place very dear to his heart. You can be sure he's gunning for nothing short of gold tomorrow.
Veer Alawat now looking to finish things off on a high, which he does. Calmly slots the ball in for what should be a birdie and a good end to his round. So that keeps him in a share of 3rd place. 2nd place all by himself, of course, Viraj Madhapa, also a member of this group, which just finished in front of us. And coming up to the 18th, oh, that's a great shot. That gives you a very good idea of the gullies and swales that crisscross this beautiful golf course. Bound on 3 sides by the jungles, the Dehing Forest Reserve, and lovely work by our drone pilots, taking their aircraft as high as possible to give us really what is a pretty spectacular view just now of this lead group walking up to the 18th fairway. Our leader in the center of the group and the center of your picture in the pink shirt, a little bit of a strut to his stride. He's hit a lovely drive, as have obviously the rest of the other 2 in this group. Yuvraj Singh checking to see whether that was his ball. Yuvraj Sandhu a little further down the fairway and to the left, while Saptak Talwar has gone to the right.
Yuvraj Singh measuring up his 2nd shot. Just missed the fairway by a whisker. There's nothing to worry about, really.
Commendable job being done by the drone operator as well. Just to put things in perspective, this is a good site to miss this fairway on, especially just here. You get a lie that you have some grass underneath, so can put some elevation and make it come out soft. Really getting under that. Very good hands. But a difficult shot nevertheless. The green is on sort of a steep embankment and is rather firm. Not much space as well, so comes back to my point that I was saying it's not just about the length of a golf course, it's also about design. Yuvraj now stalking his chip shot like a predator. Wants to make birdie. Has only made the solitary birdie on this back nine, but has been, I'd say, blemish-free when it comes to approach shots and the game off the tee, and even the chip and the putts. Set things have not quite gone his way on the back nine, but just shows you the pedigree that he has. Still, he's 6 under par for the day, so he could be a lot more better. Normally, you'd have a player shoot 6 under par, and it might be the rounds of his life. But here, he's 6 under par with a host of putts that could have easily gone in. It would be interesting to note what kind of shot he employs here. Will he try and pitch it all the way on the green, which is fraught with a little bit of danger, or try and roll it up where it stays short? So, unique design, and gives the player some food for thought. Now asking his caddy to clean the grooves. You can see our camera team, our team as well. The cameraman there patiently having a look at this shot for Yuvraj. And the drone operator as well. So we have him all surrounded. But he'll like to surround this flag. Let's see where this shot ends up. That's a really good shot from there. That's the best that we've seen whole day. It's about 10-12 feet right. It's a good effort by Yuvraj.
Potentially walking up to essay his last shot of the day. If he drains the putt, Yuvraj Sandhu holds a 6-stroke lead over the field. Meanwhile, we have Saptak Talwar showcasing his approach shot. He too, as Shaurya mentioned, needs to be wary of where the ball pitches. If it lands on the green, it has the potential of running off it, which it is pretty much doing there. He's landed the ball on the green and it's run to the back fringe of the green. It's not going to be easy to sink that. Saptak Talwar sitting at tied third position at 9 under with N. Tangaraja and Veer Elawat. He has played to 1 under today, has Saptak Talwar with just a solitary birdie on the 7th, surrounded by a sea of pars.
Closing rights on day 3 of the Indian Oil Servo Masters, the 25th edition of this, the longest running professional golf tournament in India. A real solid partnership between Indian Oil and the PGTI, and which has seen this event go from strength to strength, and this year crossing the 1 crore mark, reaching the 1 crore mark, 10 million rupees up for grabs at this very, very good looking, very pretty course. As Shaurya Singh will walk us through the final stages of the day's play.
Yeah, definitely a sight for sore eyes, and that's something that will be on Yuvraj's mind. A sight for sore eyes would be a birdie at this point in time for him. He's had a little bit of a hiccup on the back nine. Maybe this can turn it around for Yuvraj. He's currently at 4 under par for the tournament. This will break considerably to the left right at the end. And yeah, just about under reading it. Decent putt by him. So he would end his day 3 with a round of 2 over par and 4 under total. And that's currently 12 shots behind Yuvraj. So he's not going to be contending to win the tournament, but he's only 6 shots behind the second place golfer. So there's a lot to play for in terms of prize money, the order of merit, and even world ranking points. Many of these golfers ply their trade on the international tours as well, especially case in point Saptak and Yuvraj. Saptak has played a lot on the Asian Tour, even on the DP World Tour, the secondary, the Challenge Tour. Then you have Yuvraj, played on the Asian Tour, a few events on the DP World Tour, and of course a lot on the Professional Golf Tour of India. And if he finishes number 1, he'll have a full card on the DP World Tour. That is just a lot to play for. While we have a look at this putt for Saptak, who's at 9 under par. This will break left to right. It's downhill. It's a good opportunity to make another putt. We saw him make that good par putt on hole number 10. Maybe from off the green, maybe he can repeat that performance here. He's left that short as well, so it's not quite done for him yet. He has that good 5-footer to try and secure his par. Yuvraj now with a downhill putt that would break from his right. Fairly makeable putt for Yuvraj. I think he'd be licking his chops. He's not quite been able to hold too many of these today. The round of the day thus far belongs to Shaurya Bhattacharya with a 6 under par in the clubhouse. Of course, Yuvraj can better that with this putt. You can see in the foreground, it's the official gesticulating for the car to stop, but when you have business, you got to tend to it. So now we have the stage is set for Yuvraj to make his birdie and cement a 7-shot lead over Viraj Madappa. As it stands, N. Thangaraja would be playing alongside them tomorrow. Yeah, put a good stroke on it and just about misses on the low side. So good putt nevertheless for Yuvraj, who would shoot a stellar 6 under par. I think in my memory I've never seen a 6 under par look like a round that could have easily been 10 or 12 under par.
So true, Shaurya. I can never forget that putt that jumped out of the hole a couple of holes ago on the 17th, if I'm not mistaken. So Yuvraj is clearly, but it's good. He's missed these putts on the penultimate day. He'll look to hold them all tomorrow and maybe shoot 10 under tomorrow.
Yeah, it's definitely within the realm of possibility. Now, Saptak would want to make this putt, so he stays 7 behind. Even though 7 is a lot, but it's definitely better than 8. Gives you some opportunity. It's been a great moving day here. We've seen the top players really come to the party. You can see a little smirk on Yuvraj's face. He knows that Saptak is being very deliberate on this one. He wants to make it, wants to ensure that gets the correct read. And that's been something that has foxed the players a little bit. The line, it's very subtle putting on these greens. The breaks are not that pronounced. They should break from left to right. A strong break though, it doesn't look like that, but will definitely turn. And he would miss that putt and drop a shot. That would mean that Saptak would stay at 8 under par, 8 behind Yuvraj Sandhu. And Yuvraj Singh here in view will just clean up his putt. So good putt there. That would be the end of moving day. Our leader group having finished hole number 18. Yuvraj Sandhu, ladies and gentlemen, is still in a commanding pole position. And left in his wake is the rest of the field. In his slipstream currently is Viraj Madappa, just a little behind. And then you have Thanga Raja, who's obviously tasted a lot of success this year and would be gunning for more. Can't quite count them out. I know 6 and 7 shots is a lot, but you never know. Golf is a funny sport. But Yuvraj has really put on a show here, and so have our title sponsors, Indian Oil. The 25th Indian Oil Servo Masters Golf Tournament from Digboy, Assam has been a resounding success thus far. We'd implore you to stay for the highlights and join us again tomorrow because it's going to be an action-packed day here to crown your Silver Jubilee champion. For the time being, that's it from me, Shaurya Singh, from the commentary booth, and my co-commentators, Ashwin and Mr. Rahul.
थोड़ा सा खा लो हमारे साथ